Hey, man.
Hey, man. By the way, just so you know, I can see when you go live. Like, it says live in the top right corner for me, and then it says this broadcast has gone live. So I know exactly when you go live.
Okay. Everybody, I'm Josh Wolf. This is Jacob.
Hey, man.
Hey, man. And so listen, we were gonna record an episode, and by the way, I look blurry, but it's all just because I can't see anything. You know, because but we were gonna, I'm without the glasses.
Right.
That was blurry to me.
Right.
But everybody, Jacob and I were about to record an episode of our podcast, but we're having a little computer issues, so we're going to record another one. And right now, thank you, Matthew. So we just decided to go live until one of our batteries dies.
It's going to be me very soon.
It's gonna be me. How much battery you got?
Well, all right. So this is the roller coaster we've been on. When we started and we're going to do our podcast, I was at 78%. And I was like, all right, that's cool. I'll be fine. We talked on this for about 7 minutes, and then I was down to 15. And I was ready to hit record. I was at like 15%. And then he stopped recording. And then I was at 28%. And then I was at 16. And then I was at 20. And then I was at 12. And then I was back at 20. And now I'm at 6. So I don't know.
Yeah, you're going to be gone soon. I think as soon as you go, I might click off. I don't know yet. But hey, man.
Hey, man.
Now, look, we got the Hey, Man t-shirts. I forgot. I got to send you them out.
I'm excited.
I'm excited, too. I'm generally excited about just – you know what I'm the most excited about doing this podcast with you? And, hey, everybody, we see you in the chat. What's going on? I'm most excited about doing this with you is because it means you're going to have to talk to me for at least 45 minutes a week.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to cancel this podcast.
Do you know, by the way, you fitted hat backwards, long hair down past your shoulders. Oh, there he goes. There it is. That was it for Jacob Wolf. But let me tell you something. Jacob Wolf, hat backwards, hair like that, that's me. Seattle in the 90s. 100% me, Seattle in the 90s. I know he gone, everybody. He gone. But we're not. We're here. And I'm going to tell you something right now. This is the pod. What were you going to say? That's what I was going to say. The podcast that he and I have been recording. You guys saw a live one already. It is so good. And let me tell you something else. It's going to be great. He's learning things about himself and is willing to talk about them at an age where I definitely wasn't. And most people his age aren't. So it's going to be super cool for people his age. And if you have kids or around his age or younger, man, this is the dude. This is the dude who you're going to want to have him listen to. What's going on, everybody? Yeah, bye, man. But we're back here now. I don't do as many lives on Facebook anymore. Ever since, guys, you have got to hear it. Look, I'm already in jail over here, and you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter what I say. But let me tell you how fucking ridiculous this platform is. And by the way, I love everybody on here. That's a problem. And I love the people that I talk to on the phone. But fuck it. It's their business. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. I'm not complaining about them. That takes up brain space that I don't want it, that they don't deserve. You know what I'm saying? But here we are on Saturday with yesterday we shot some stuff here. The I like weird shit things that I've been doing. We shot some I like weird shit videos that I think you guys are really gonna like. And today I'm shooting a video all about my legs. So you know how sweet these are. Not only are we going to be talking about how pale they are, but the shape of them. I remember I put on at some point in time, most dudes, and when I say most dudes, I just mean me. there was at least one Halloween where not at least one, just one, where I dressed as a woman, right? In a skirt. And all night I heard men and women, they were like, yo, you got some decent legs in a skirt. And I was always like, what the, I was always like, fuck you. But in my head, I was like, thank you. Oh. And you'll see him today. Oh, man. Let me tell you, whose birthday is it? Whose birthday? Did I miss something? I missed something altogether. But yeah, man. Yeah, it's so funny. Like, it's like when I especially when Chelsea was on, I would get DMs or messages from gay men, right? Who would say things like, this is why it's so crazy to me that they would even have to start by saying this. But I would hear gay men say, hey, I hope, no offense, I hope this doesn't offend you, but I think you're really good looking. And I always wrote back like, offend me? Thank you. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're saying that a human being, you find me attractive? Why would that offend me? But it was such an eye-opening thing as to what their experience in life was. That because I am not gay, that they had experienced gay men, straight dudes maybe being offended that they called them good looking. And I was like, what are we talking about? Offended? I'd be offended if you didn't think I was good looking. Yeah, that's where the offense comes in. When you call me a fuckhead, that's the offense. But if you're like, hey, I think you're good looking. Now, I'm not fucking them, but I'll take all the compliments you want to throw out. Yeah, I'm on board for that shit. It's just like, I remember in meet and greets sometimes, and now I can see now, like, this is the first time I've ever had a camera above the waist. So a lot of times you guys just saw that I just naturally put my hands in my pants like that, but I stopped myself because I looked on camera. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to have my hand on my dick for the entire podcast. Probably not. But like, here's the deal. Like, so for me, what's going on, everybody? Hey, Margaret. No, you can't get too many compliments, Sarah. Some dudes will punch other dudes that call them hot. Why? You know what that seems to me? It seems to me that somebody might be onto you. You know what I'm saying? That you're like, if you are if a guy calling you good looking makes you mad to the point where you want to fight, you for sure want to blow that dude. Do you know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't get you that mad unless you're like, oh, I want to blow that guy so badly, I'm going to punch him. Oh, if I can't blow him, I just want to beat him in the, it's dumb. Meet and greets. I've had some meet and greets, right? Where this is my favorite, where you would you put your arm around people in the meet and greets, And I've had guys be like, hey, none of that gay shit. I'm like, I'm not sure you know how being gay works. Like, if I took the picture, like, that's a gay picture. If I'm blowing you in the picture, then you could be like, hey, I don't want any of that gay shit. But the arm around, and the other one that makes me laugh is like, I've had guys and like, we're in the meet and greet and the guy will be here and woman will be here. And the woman was like, I think you, or he'll be like, that my wife thinks you're really good looking. I don't know. I don't know. And I'm like, wait, if you can't, like, look, I don't care if this woman's husband thinks I'm good looking or not. But if there aren't guys out there that you think are good looking, like if I say to you, do you think Brad Pitt's good looking? You're like, I don't know I'm a guy. I can't tell. You can't tell the difference between Brad Pitt and Danny DeVito. You can't tell the difference between like, I don't know, Brad Pitt and fucking Benedict Cumberbatch. That dude looks like Benedict Cumberbatch. Benedict Cumberbatch has the perfect name. And let me tell you why Benedict Cumberbatch has the perfect name. Because the name's all over the place. Benedict Cumberbatch. You're like, what the fuck? It's like, you don't know where to, it's like one of those names you don't know where to look. Benedict Cumberbatch. Like, that sounds like a name out of a nursery rhyme. Like if there was like Grimm's fairy tales, if they had a fairy tale about a dude named Benedict Cumberbatch, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. That sounds like a name out of like the old man, like, you know what I mean? Like, that sounds like a nursery rhyme name. But Benedict Cumberbatch is also a name that is so all over the place, just like him. Like, sometimes when you look at Benedict Cumberbatch, you're like, yeah, that dude's good looking. And then he just turns this much, and you're like, good God, he looks like a fucking alien. And then he turns back just a little more. You're like, no, good looking. And he turns back again. You're like, well, he came from outer space. Like, but his name fits the way he looks. Engelbert Humperdinck too. But Benedict Cumberbatch, man, that dude, his name fits his face, because you're like, I don't know what. Oh, good looking. Oh, alien, you know. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so dumb to me. There's so many things that are so that we just need that just are so dumb. Oh my God. Yeah. Anyways. Oh, what's going on? Hey, Junior. Hey, Jeff. That's as British as it gets. Benedict Cumberbatch. Jax, I'm a straight woman, but I would totally do Leslie Ann Brandt. I got to tell you, Jackie, I don't know who the fuck that is. I don't know. I have zero. If you were like, you have 100 guesses, place Leslie Ann Brandt. I'd be like, Leslie Ann Brandt. Is she a designer? Brandt doesn't sound like a famous person's last name. Brandt. I'd have changed that, I think. Leslie Ann Brandt. Does she cook? I don't understand. Oh, she's on Lucifer. Got it. Nick says it's not gay if you don't swallow. Hey, man, I think that's a great rule to live by. Joseph said, what's up, man? I was almost named Engelbert Humperdinck. Humperink. Oh, good one. I can't see that well because I don't have my glasses today. But yeah, guys, I was hoping to do it live with Jakey, and Carl says, Josh, you're sexy. I'm not. We're both straight. Let's go on an awkward date. Carl, I'm confused by your message. If we're both straight, is it a date? Ooh, what a great question. So if you meet a girl out, it's a date, right? But sometimes not. But if it's not a date, what is it? You're just getting together as friends, right? So if two dudes who are straight get together, like, I'm going to dinner with a buddy tonight, it's not a date. We're not on a date. Somebody Google the definition of date for me. Because look, I've had some great man-to-man nights out. That sounded dirty, but it wasn't. But I've had some great nights out with dudes, my friends. But is that a date? Hey, Jeffrey, it's a mandate? A bromance? I don't know. It's just like, look, if you're out there, you're a woman, and you go out with your friend, is it a date? Is it a lunch date? Maybe. It's not gay unless you ball touch. Is that a move? Is there anybody gay? Any gay dudes on here? Is that a move? The nut touching? I mean, I know that I like it when I touch my nuts. I don't know if nuts together. Nuts and nuts? I think nut to nut is like the same, like lesbians don't scissor. Well, I was disappointed when I heard that, but yeah, I remember Fortune Feimster. We were in the Chelsea lately offices, and we were joking about scissoring, right? And she goes, that's not a thing, right? I was like, fucking what? She goes, we don't scissor. And I was like, come on, I see it in all the porns. And she was like, yeah, that's not a move. I'm like, well, it should be. And she was like, I guess. Yo, everybody. This person in Josh Wolf Prize, this motherfucker. Hold on. Oh, son of a bitch. God, fucking cunt. This motherfucker. Not legit. You understand? Everybody understand that? Not legit. The only legit page is me. When you see these people, please report them. I've had people, there was somebody on here on Instagram the other day who was like, you're DMing me, huh? I'm like, no, I'm not. 100%. Why would I spell my name with 2 S's? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to say, and they're preying, this person is preying on you wanting to talk to me. Guys, I think I give as much access as anybody, especially on Patreon. If you're on Patreon, I give as much one-to-one access as any person out there. Don't fall for this shit. Just don't fall for it. I can't say it any other way. Okay. So let me block this motherfucker, but don't fall for it. Okay. There is 0 Amber. Okay. I love how you all caps me. Yeah, report it. I can't, this is the craziest thing, Heaven, is, yeah, how would you fall for that? You are I'm on right now. And then, you know what I'm saying? I'm on right now. How would you fall for that? And by the way, if you fall for that and you're on with me, fuck it. Yeah, give me your money. You know what? I can't help you. If you see me right here and you fall for that, yeah. I mean, I guess that's on you. I'll read it, Amber. Just send it to me. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Jeff, of course I observed it. It's my name, my man. You know what I mean? You're looking at me right now. It's so dumb. So yeah, I really miss. Oh, it doesn't consume me, Aaron. It doesn't consume me. I like talking about things. I like, if you know anything about my stand up and how I do things, I will, especially for my stand up, I will I have people ask me all the time, yo, how did you turn that 2-minute bit into a 12-minute story? Right? And by the way, Margaret, thank you so much. But this is it. Go join Patreon. 100% access. All that stuff that we used to do right here. Patreon. It's only $5 a month. You get all the high lives. You get a personal podcast like this that doesn't go out anywhere else. So you get one of those a week. And then you can get personal videos. You can get Zooms, all that shit. Patreon.com/JoshWolfComedy. You should check it out. The merch list, the Hey Man. I haven't found a new merch person. I have the merch. I haven't found a place for the site that I like yet. So I'm currently dealing with an infected tooth and might need a root canal. Oh no. Feel better. Feel better. Feel better. Amber, if you don't like Crowdcast, don't go over there. I totally get it. It's $5. That's it. $5. Yeah. And by the way, Ray's right. On the high lives, you do not have to be high to join high live. On the high lives, we theme them every week now. So some people aren't high, but we all come in costume. Now you don't have to come in costume. You can just watch, but I bring everybody up on screen. Everybody's wearing a costume. It's fun, man. It's weed. It's story time. It's costumes. It's fun. Yeah, it's been badass lately, without a doubt. Anyways, Yeah, everybody, you guys that are on there, thank you so much. Justin, it has been badass lately. But yeah, Aaron, here's how I do it. Like, I go, the more I talk, I'm trying to find different angles and find funny and find a different way to talk about things, right? So for anything, I try to go about it that way, because that I condition my brain that when I get into a joke, when I get into a story, that there's more than one angle. There's more than one way to look at it. There's more than one thing to laugh at. There's more than one, you look at Chris Rock when he does stand up and he paces that stage. Whew, like he's stalking the audience. It's fucking awesome. But you know how he gets on something and he goes, right? But every now and then he'll repeat the topic, right? So like, this is not a Chris Rock joke, but he would start by go, men and women are different, man. And he'd do a joke, blah, 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 blah. And then he'd go again, men and women are different. He resets you. You know what I'm saying? And so he can keep going. And I don't do it like that. I don't reset you, but I do like to keep talking, because there's just a lot of different ways to look at one thing. There just are. And so I when like guys like that, although now that I'm thinking about it, because he writes it, but when I was just doing that little thing on that guy, it did help me to bring it back to don't fall for that, because then I could take that in a different, I'm actually stream of consciousness talking right now. That's very interesting about, maybe that's why when he writes his jokes like that, it brings him back. So for him too. I don't know. I'm fascinated by joke writing. I'm fascinated by why things are funny. That is interesting. Is that why he does that? Anyways, my favorite cartoon or animated character. Yeah. Oh, that's what we are dressing up as this week. Favorite art. Oh, Joseph. Good Lord, that's funny. Back to hot dudes. Exactly right. Yeah, this week on Patreon, you were dressing up. I almost put my hands in my pants again. We're dressing up as your favorite cartoon or animated character, but your interpretation of that. You don't have to go get a Scooby-Doo suit if you don't want to. What's your interpretation as the human Scooby-Doo? Kristen said it would probably be best I didn't have direct access to viewing. I'm liable to flash you. Yeah, you would be flashing everybody. Just so you know, Kristen, you're welcome to come but everybody would see it. It's when you're on screen, it's for everyone to see. So I encourage you to come on if you would like to and show your boobs to the entire Patreon. I think that would probably get me more memberships. So it's completely up to you. Keep your hand out your pants. I mean, it's so crazy. I'm just like a dude. Jackie, you're going with you made up your own character. I love that. Or the dressing up is so much fun. So I don't know what I'm going to do for mine. And you know what's crazy, guys? Monday night Patreon and Tuesday night is usually the only day that I have available to fuck about here in town. And so I set up, Jan, exactly. Oh, goody boobs. Let's fucking go. Robbie, I don't even know what that means. I need someone like you to take me under their wings and show me their ins and outs. I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to that. Kristen, you're okay with it? I think we're all okay with it. Patreon.com/Josh Wolf Comedy. And by the way, guys, just remember, if you come over to the Patreon, and I mentioned this before, but you can get cameo style videos that I send to you. A bunch of people have signed up we do personal 15-minute Zooms. There's a lot of fun shit going on over there. SpongeBob wearing my pants. I like that. Jeffrey, with the gun show you're sporting, go for Popeye. Hey, listen, dude, this right arm is the one that pulls Indiana all the time. So like there's no tricep, but since I'm holding him on my tiny little arm, there's a bicep. So, it's yeah, I'm still here, Andrew. I'm still here. Ray, that's a good question. Jackie, your character's name is Granny Inna, short for inappropriate. Oh, I can't wait for inappropriate Granny. Okay, everybody, let's do this. Travis, Ernest, I would dress up as, but Ernest was not a cartoon character. But Ernest would be a good character for me. I have that thin, now that I've lost weight, I have that thin Jim Varney kind of face with the giant ears. That's a great question. That's a great idea. Dress like the big woman from my story. All right, guys. Well, look, this was just supposed to be, what are we talking about? Oh, Michael, we're talking about on my Patreon every Monday night for the High Live. And again, you don't have to smoke weed on the High Live. A lot of people don't. It's just a fun live stream, but we've been dressing up in costumes because we've been theming it every week. And last week was music. So I dressed up as like an 80s rock and roller. The week before was SNL characters. So I went Hans from Hans and Franz. And this week we're doing your favorite cartoon or animated character. I'm telling you guys, it's a ton of fun. I don't have a good answer for that. I don't have a good answer for that. I don't want to get into it, but I'm not sure about when I'm going back to Texas. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm just not sure. Do the Freddie Prinze character from Scooby-Doo. Listen, Jeffrey. First, he was called Freddie. If you don't know your Scooby-Doo, don't you? Scooby-Doo was what Jacob and I, that was our jam. When he was a kid, man, oh my Lord. He and I just sat and watched Scooby-Doo for hours. Hours he and I would watch Scooby-Doo. Just sitting there. He would have his little juice box. It was amazing. Am I coming to Alabama? Maybe. They just got to book me there. But I have one show booked in Texas, and I just can't cancel because it's too close and there's tickets being sold and all that stuff. But yeah, after that, I don't know. So let's bring a couple people on. Let's think of something. I have something fun to. Okay, and then we're gonna go. We're gonna bring you on, but we're talking about animated characters. What is an animated duo? An animated combo. South Carolina, whenever they book me. Do I not want? I love Texas. I went to school there. I have some of my best friends in the entire world in Texas. And the crowds there are amazing. That ruling this week, the COVID stuff or whatever, the open carry and the no license for a gun, which all of this stuff that I'm like, yeah, man, I don't agree with it, but I don't live there. But an abortion is what it is. I'm not going to argue abortion with you. I'm just not. Because this is why I've always thought that this was a tough thing to argue. Because if I truly believed in my heart of hearts that there were people out there killing babies, I would have something to say about it. Now, that's not what I believe. I don't believe that is considered a, you know what I mean? Like when they're talking about you're killing a baby, like a child, I think they're up to a point in the development. That's not how I feel. But if that's how you feel, I get that. I can't argue that with you. Putting what they did, though, is not that. What they did is they are continuing what the leaders of this fucking country continue to do is to pit us against each other. They didn't just make a law. They said, hey, go rat out your fellow citizens. Sit out there. Draw a line between us and them. Uber drivers that go over there, anybody with any knowledge, sue them. And if you win at least $10,000. That is a straight up bounty. That is a open season you're calling on other citizens. It is and it opens things up for, well, how come maybe an environmentalist group wants to do that? Yeah, man, if you don't recycle your bottle and I see you not recycle your bottle. So now you just got Americans out here looking to make money by ratting out other like it is fucked. And that's the thing. And from what I understand, and I don't know, I haven't talked to everybody in Texas, but from what I understand, the majority of people in Texas did not agree with this. This is where I'm at, guys. I'm not going to sit here and argue abortion with you again because, look, I think some people their views on abortion are just simply what party line views are abortion. But some people are like, yo, you're killing babies. And I'm like, I can't argue with that. Again, because if I was like, yo, there are people out there killing babies, we got to make some laws to stop that. That's not what happened. So that's what it is for me. Yeah, listen, dude. My opinion is my fucking opinion. If you don't want to come to my show because of my opinion, that's none of my business. That's zero of my business. Zero of my business. And if my opinion on that affects you so much, I wouldn't come. But I want you to know, Perrin, I didn't know who the fuck you were before. I don't know who the fuck you are now. So if you think that a message like that affects me, which is why you sent it, I just want you to know it doesn't. I hope you continue on down your path as happy and as healthy as you can be. Do you know what I mean? I really do. If you are one of the people that can't, if you're one of the people that cannot listen and have a conversation with somebody else, I don't want you on this fucking page anyways. That's it. You heard my opinion. I'm not out here protesting you and your opinion. I just think pitting Americans against Americans is fucked up. And I'll say whatever I want on my page. And I respect the fact that you don't want to be here. All right? Yeah, that's it. Guys, I refuse to be in a day and age where I'm going to look, I might think your opinion is dumb as fuck. I'm going to give you a good example. I don't agree with everything Joe Rogan says. I don't. And by the way, I don't agree with everything anyone says. That's called a cult. I don't agree with everything, but I find his podcast to be very interesting. I think he's an intelligent guy. I love the way he asks questions. I don't agree with everything. I don't particularly think he doesn't, it doesn't matter. But because I don't agree with all of the things he says, because I don't agree with all the things that, I don't know, Howard Stern says, I can still listen. That's being an adult. Do you know what I mean? That's being an adult. There are country singers that I know for sure I don't agree with their opinions. I like their music. That's fine. They can have their opinions. But that's where I'm at, guys, you know. Jax, we'll see you on Monday. Because that's what happens, Jeffrey. It's okay. Matt, Josh, I've never seen you live, so I'll be buying tickets for me and my wife and as many friends as I need to wake up for the bailouts. Yeah, guys. Listen, this is out. This is the thing for me. I do not agree with abortion. There you go. But because there are other options. Sure. But I do agree with women's right to choose. Yeah, listen, guys, I'm not even, and so do I, but I'm not even arguing abortion with you right now. I'm just saying that the bounty that you put on somebody's head, I'm just saying, be careful what you're okay with. Just be careful what you're okay with, man. That's all I'm saying. Be careful with what you're okay with, because when it comes for you, when somebody sues you for $10,000 because you threw away a plastic bottle and the environmental group somehow pushed that through, you're going to be like, what? Why are we spying on each other and ratting each other out? Guys, it's not us against us. That's what they're doing. It's not us against us. Those motherfuckers, the politicians who doesn't matter who they're supposed to represent, what they think, it is all one giant game. And we are their pawns. They rile us up. They're not riling us up against them. They're riling us up against each other. They're riling us up against each other. They show these crazy extremes and then they scare you. This is what's coming. This is what's coming. This is what's coming. This is what's coming. Look out your window. Is that what's coming? Is that what's out your window right now? You know what I'm saying? For most of us, is that what you just see a bunch of Mexicans running over, stealing jobs? You just see a bunch of dudes just walking around shooting people? Is that really what's coming? Yeah, we do have issues. It doesn't mean those things aren't issues. But issues should not be used to stoke fear. That's not the way you solve issues, by people being scared out of their fucking minds. Because then that's all emotion. And you're not solving issues with emotion. You just aren't. And so what do we want to be right now? What do we want to be as a country? What do we want to be? Because from the outside looking in, man, this is an unprecedented time. We got people in this country actively and outwardly talking about a civil war. You're not happy in America? Where else are you going? Where else are you going? Look, everyone's got problems, but where else are you going? As many problems as we got here, and I hope of hopes that we figure them out. There's still nowhere else we'd rather be. So, like, perspective. You want to be one of those motherfuckers hanging off the airplane in Afghanistan just because you were born there? You were born here. For those of you that were, you're born here. Come on. Perspective. Let's figure this out together. Look, guys, again, I see a bunch of things about gun laws in here. We're going backwards, right? You're not putting the genie back in the bottle. There are guns here. You're not putting the genie back in the bottle. Anybody who is like, they're coming for my guns, I'm buying more guns. More guns were sold under Obama than any other president ever. Nobody's coming for your guns. It's just never going to happen. But that's another thing. They're scaring you into thinking they're coming. Nobody is coming. It will never happen. Never. So that's why, like, with that, when they're like, if you're like, we need sensible gun laws, they're coming for the guns. I never put those two together. Oh, I got guns. Ain't nobody's coming for my guns. But I wouldn't have minded if it was harder for me to get one. You know what I mean? Anyways. Yeah, guys. It's so, you cannot solve problems with emotions. You cannot. And like I said, guys, people can bail all they want. I know who I am. If you listen to you're not going to bait me into that shit. And if you're so reactionary that is like a trigger for you, that's cool. Then you shouldn't be on here anyways. So, nice profile pic. Hey, everyone. Yeah. Second Amendment right, sure. Yeah, man, we're not going in and changing the Constitution. None of that is happening. None of it's happening. The NRA is too strong. There are too many people with guns. And to go and try to get people's guns would be impossible. And a lot of people would die. Nobody's coming to get. It's just such a dog whistle, fear mongering thing to do and say to people. It's just not making lives better, you know? And again, I got guns, plural. Nobody's coming for them. Hey, everybody. Thanks, Tristan. Yeah. It's just threats to get people, fear will make you act on things more than anything else. The fear that somebody is going to come take something that you already have. You're not taking my whatever, you're not coming to my freedom, my gun, my whatever. That fear is what gets action. That fear, fear and anger is what fueled all the protests. And rightfully so, you know? So they know, look, the reason there's no news, and they've tried a bunch of times. I think John Krasinski tried over quarantine. The reason there's never been a sustainable news show of just good news stories is that nobody gives a fuck. It doesn't get any ratings. It's a business. Nobody gives a fuck. Unfortunately. It's more like, 8 people died here. Do you know this can kill you? Oh my God, this is happening. Where are they? Country, the world is going to explode. Oh no, I need to buy some stuff. I need to fucking. That's not saying that there isn't. Fear is gasoline for ignorance. What's that? Mark, fear is gasoline for ignorance and lack of factual information. Yes, I agree with that. Fear definitely taps into that, Mark. But even the most educated, look, let's just use COVID as an example. I have some very educated friends who are way over the top careful because they're scared. Fear. Now, by the way, I don't want COVID either. And I'm pretty careful. I mitigate risks is what I would say. I mean, look, if I was 100% careful, I wouldn't do shows. But I mitigate risks. Like I'm in that. I really want to. I want to live my life. I want to be safe. I want other people safe. But I also can't go another year without making money kind of situation, you know? But it's all for me about mitigating risk. But I have friends of mine who are just super smart, Mark. Really scared. There's only so much you can do when everywhere you turn on whatever, it's just like, you know? So I hear you though. All right, everyone. If they try to take our guns, Tony, again, nobody. Who's they, motherfucker? Who's they? Who's they? That's the thing. They is us, bruh. You mean the other Americans? Nobody is coming for your guns. As somebody who's got nobody's coming. Who's first of all, who's volunteering for that job? I'm going to knock on the door of known gun owners and be like, hey, I'm here for your gun. Yeah, probably not. It's not happening. Ever, ever, ever. Now, look, if you want to go out and buy a bunch of guns, you go out and buy a bunch of guns, but don't buy it because you think the government is coming for them and you need to stockpile them. I mean, you can. It's just, you don't have to, you know. Yeah, you fucking sleep with a gun under your pillow. Who the fuck cares? That makes you comfortable. That makes you comfortable. I don't give a fuck where you put your gun, you know. Yeah, oh, Tony, you know that. Okay, good. Yeah, I just think like it's almost like a conversation that I wish, and for me too, that I could stop having. Because it just, you know what I mean? There's so many other things that I think we really need to get in on. And as a group, solve. It's just a lot of it with guns just depends on how you were raised. Some people were raised around guns. Some people weren't. Where you grew up. Culturally, yeah, we have guns. Some people culturally do not. There you go. That's it. You know? It's a great way to market guns. Yeah, look. Anyways, I can't believe that this is what this turned into. Yeah, Joseph, so you pro gun? Yep. Me too, brother. All right. This is not Josh. Did you all watch Clickbait? Yeah, we started watching it. We started watching it last night. First of all, outside of Entourage, have not really loved Adrian, what's his last name? And anything. He's good. You see him a little older. I really liked it. Beth and I were watching last night. I really liked it a lot. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to do a little yoga. I might come to Pennsylvania. I was just in Philadelphia. I'll be in Pittsburgh, actually, Ryan. I think 24th, 25th, 26th is what I think it is. Clickbait's really good. We still didn't watch Sex Life. I just don't think that's going to be my thing. I don't like the soapy stuff. I mean, I would love to hear a convincing argument besides, and someone was like, there's titties on there. I'm like, yeah, but there's titties all over the internet. You know? Oh, that's fun. Thank you, Nicole. See you, Crystal. You know what I mean? What's it about? Sex Life or Clickbait? Clickbait's a really interesting idea for a show. I really have liked it. All right, everybody. Hey, Tina, you watch Sex Life? How was it? Yeah, cheers, everybody. Kind of hot dude, full circle. You know how I do it, Joseph. All right, everybody, look. We I had a really good time with you guys today. And interesting to see how what triggers people. And what triggers that emotion for them to go from like, hey, I'm having a good time on the stream to fuck you. You know what I mean? It's an interesting thing. But you guys know what you get with me. Sometimes you get all funny. Sometimes you get not funny. Sometimes you get a mix of it. But it's always just going to be whatever the hell I want to say. And so thanks for hanging out with me today. Let's do it again. Too old, no energy to be triggered. I'm with you on that. Yeah, genuine. That's a good word for it. I will I'll see you guys on the Patreon on Monday. Remember, what are we doing? Remember, High Live. Patreon.com/Josh Wolf Comedy. $5 a month gets you the High Live once a week. Solo podcast once a week. And just some random posts and thoughts and all that shit. And plus you can get cameo videos and Zoom calls. Starts at $5 a month. And that's it. And what I would ask you guys also, if you have fun on here or on the Patreon or on my page, just tell some folks, man, we're having a good time over here. Let's start spreading the word. Let's join the community. Here's the community that we want to start. Tolerance. Not for stupidity. I don't have any tolerance. If you're like, I'm part of the queue. Yeah. I don't think every voice deserves a seat at the table. I just don't. I don't need to hear that because you know what I mean? You're not helping. But just because you have a different opinion than me doesn't mean that you don't get a seat at my table. That's not how it goes. So the only way to get this shit back up and floating is for you to invite people who you don't think you'll agree with to sit at the table. Let me just say one last thing. What we've done an expert job at in this country, and I'm talking about our leaders, is dehumanizing the other side. By referring to the group as Republicans or Democrats or conservatives or liberals, you are not individualizing them. And so that makes it easy to dehumanize the whole group. But all of us are like, well, I know a good one. What? The majorities are good ones. Right? Right. The majority. Again, they're making that other group the boogeyman. It's just not the case. So turn that shit off and go out and talk to people and just remind yourself that, we're all in this together, man. The majority, 85% of us are done with this bullshit. We're done with the fighting. We're done with the arguing. We want to reach across to other people. The fact that our elected officials, grown fucking people, act like kindergartners. They're supposed to represent us, not make money for themselves, not do their own bidding. Look, your congressman or whoever the fuck, that person you elected represents you. That means if that group of people that he elected, that elected him, disagree with what the leader in his group says, he's supposed to represent you. Not you. He's your voice, not that person's voice. That's just not how it's working now. You elect somebody and then they all run to their teams. It's one giant game of Red Rover. Hey, Red Rover, send some smart people on over. How about that? They're supposed to be working for us, Sarah. They're not. It's all money and power. These are power hungry fucks. How you can hear one person say, badmouth somebody in their party and then make it doesn't matter. We just need some common sense people. And you shouldn't be able to have your position for more than 8 years. Senators, what the fucking Supreme Court needs to mix it up. Like, there's some things that need to change. It needs to start with us, though. And when it starts with us, we need to be able to look at each other and look at our neighbors. And if our neighbor has a different opinion than ours, and a different opinion, that doesn't mean they dangerous, hateful, any of that shit. Those opinions are in that 15% that I was telling you about. I'm talking about the people that just may think differently than you. I'm talking about somebody who may think, yeah, we do need a fucking wall because I live on the border and my town is crazy. So for you to summarily dismiss that person's idea, they have a different life experience than you. You don't know that unless you sit across the table from that person. But to summarily dismiss somebody for an opinion when you don't know what their life has been, I don't know. Anyways, a lot of changes need to be made. Yeah, right. And there are a lot of people who are just not willing to make it. It's just easier to go with it. But is it? Are we on the right path? We have droughts, severe droughts in the West, tornadoes in New Jersey, and flooding in New York City. Are things normal? Us yelling at each other and not finding a common ground, things are going well? Is that what you think? Everything's running smoothly? We're good? We can't do anything to change that? Yo, I don't know that New Orleans ever comes back. We got married there, man. My wife's from Louisiana. I don't know that tourism comes back there. And I mean, things are changing. And whatever, if you think of global warming, whatever, the climate's changing. Like, I don't even think global warming is the right term. Climate is changing. Now, let me take this topic as an example. I'm not a scientist, so I don't know anything. But I do know that the temperatures are just rising. And I don't know if that's just because a regular cycle of what happens on Earth and then it gets super hot. And then, I don't know enough about the history of the planet because I do think there's cycles of heat and cold and all that stuff, right? But as we're getting hotter, the thing that I don't understand is, and for all these things, why can't two grown-ups be like, hey, so we've been doing this for 30 years and there's been no change. So let's just try this for 5 years and see if it starts to change things around. What do you think? Nope. Do you know what I mean? Like, if things aren't working right now, why? Like, the crazy rains and floods and droughts, if some people who are scientists are saying, yeah, that has to do with us, we've tried not doing anything. Why not try doing something? You know what I mean? Like, and this isn't a political statement. Like, I'm not a scientist. I listen to what some scientists say, the majority. I just understand why not try it, right? Everett, I totally get money, but I'm just talking common sense, ideal world. It all goes back to money, and it all goes back to people's pockets being lined. Do you know I sat down with a lobbyist for a weekend? And this was fascinating to me. This was the most charming dude I have ever, what's up, Logan, ever sat down with. And I've met some charming people. And I was sitting with him and I asked him, I go, let me ask you a question, man. And he goes, yeah, go ahead. We've been having some cocktails. And you don't need to know, it was at a charity event. So when we were out, everybody was there for a weekend. And so I asked him, let me ask you, how many politicians have done something or taken money, or done something that they didn't want to do to get things done? And he was like, what level? And I said, Congress. And he said, all of them. I said, what? He goes, yeah, look, it may not be a gazillion dollars or whatever, but you get to a certain level, you realize if you want to get the things done you want to get done, you have to do some shit you don't want to do. And you're probably gonna have to take some money or from some people you didn't want and help some people you didn't want to help. And he said all of them. All right. That should tell everybody here what they're dealing with. You're not dealing with people with your best interest in mind. You're dealing with people with their best interest in mind. Right? If I'm a senator and I can fucking stay in my job forever, I'm going to do what it takes. Clearly, because none of these fucks have any balls. I'm going to do what it takes to stay. I'm not going to, no dissent. I'm just going to ride party lines and I'm going to make my money. You know? So it's crazy time. Anyways, guys, I'm psyched to have you guys on with me. And as usual, a fun time to be with you. Yeah, politics are a dirty game. And a fun time to be with you. I'm so glad to see all you guys. As usual, and to see the names that we usually get. I hope everybody's good. We will see you on the High Live. You're not riding on my coattail. Yeah, have a good weekend, everybody. I like the morning lives too, everyone. Kat, did you see yourself on my Instagram page? It's a good time. Same time next week. On here, no. But I will be doing a couple lives with Jacob. Just to you want to start a new 90-day challenge? Okay, let's talk about it. Hey Tracy, I have zero desire. I smoke too much weed. You know what I mean? But great to see all you and great to see all the regulars. And I like seeing how nice you guys are to each other in your chat. And yeah, that's it. Be good to each other. And we'll see you Monday night on the High Live. Thanks, Nick. And remember the new podcast, Hey Man, with me and Jacob Wolf. This was actually a fun podcast for me today. Kat, you're in the gym 5-6 days a week now. You're addicted. Good for you. Good for you. All right, everybody. Love you. Let's remember to be good to each other out there. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for the phone call. It doesn't matter if it's not ringing off the wall. Going where we gotta go. The hoops are endless and the promise is undefeated.